Okay, so we're looking at proofs, which we love, and we're going to look at a word problem, which we also love. So we got a double love in this example 3, which is located on page 356 in your textbook. So we've got this statement here that Cleavon traveled over 360 miles on his trip, making just 2 stops. Okay, so I'm going to stop right here. Let's see what we got here. We're going over 360 miles, and we made 2 stops. So let's think about this for a moment. So we got a starting point. We got an ending point. That's 360 miles. Oh, excuse me, that's over 360 miles. And he made 2 stops. Okay, so we got 3 segments of this trip. We'll call that X, we'll call that Y, we call that Z. Using indirect reasoning, prove that he traveled more than 120 miles on one leg of his trip. Well, if he went 360 miles and there's 3 segments, that's 120 each. And so if he went over 360 miles, then that means at least one of these, if not more than one, has to be greater than 120 miles. Okay, common sense would tell us that. Of course, we're dealing in proofs. Common sense does not always apply. I didn't say that, did I? We love proofs, and we love word problems. All right, let's continue. So let's see, let X equal the distance traveled on the first leg. Okay, well, check. And Y equal the second leg, check. And Z equal the third leg of the trip. Okay, well, we can handle that. So then we come up with a given statement. X plus Y plus Z, the 3 legs of the trip, is greater than 360 miles, over 360 miles. 3 segments of the trip. All right, then let's see. Prove that X is greater than 120, or Y is greater than 120, or Z is greater than 120. Again, common sense would tell us that, but hey, we're doing indirect proofs. So here we got an indirect proof. Assume that no leg of the trip was more than 120 miles. That is, X is less than or equal to 120, or Y is less than or equal to 120, and Z is less than 120. That should be and. X is less than 120, and Y is less than 120, and Z is less than 120. If that was true, then we would be going less than 360 miles. Again, common sense. But let's continue. All right, if X is less than 120, and Y is less than 120, and Z is less than 120, then X plus Y plus Z is less than 360. All right, well, we're moving along. That makes sense to me. This is a contradiction of the given. Now remember, the given was X plus Y plus Z is greater than 360 miles. So our indirect proof is our assumption in the indirect proof is a contradiction of the given. Therefore, the assumption must be false. So at least one leg of the trip must be longer than 120 miles, which is the original conclusion. And we have used indirect algebraic proof to prove the conclusion, our original conclusion of the given. Fascinating.